You are tuned in to On Air with Chris Shanafelt.
Good evening and welcome on into another episode of On Air with Chris Shanafelt as we continue our 2019 NFL Draft Prospect interview series. It is a pleasure to now be joined by arguably the top prospect coming out of the FCS. He's one of the top defensive line prospects in the 2019 NFL Draft by way of Western Illinois University. Khalen Saunders. Khalen, really appreciate you taking some time to join the show again. I'm not even sure where to start, man. I mean, congratulations on everything that's transpired over the past week. For those who don't know, you're in Mobile, Alabama, not only participating in the Reese Senior Bowl, but dominating the Reese Senior Bowl as you're named Player of the Week. You also became a father as well. I mean, can you even put into words the experiences you've been through over the past 7 or 8 days?
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you, first of all. And, but it was just, one of those kind of whirlwind type of weeks. Like, you could, if you stretch that week out to like a month, that'd be enough excitement and action for like a whole month. So, like you said, I became a father to a beautiful baby girl. She's healthy, and the mom's healthy, and, everybody's happy. So I'm real thankful for that. And then like you said as well, he was down there in Alabama competing against, the top athletes in the nation. That's what that game is all about, is giving the top prospects and the top athletes from everywhere, not just the FBS schools or whatever, like FCS, D2, whatever that may be, they're going to find you. So, it was fun getting to compete and just kind of prove that there's no disparity between FCS and FBS football, that I can compete, with anybody you put in front of me.
Khalen, I remember having you on the show right before the start of your senior season to just kind of preview your senior season, what your expectations were heading in. Obviously, getting the Senior Bowl invite, it's big time. It means that not only did you have a great senior year, but you really had a great career there at Western Illinois. When did things kind of hit you that you're gonna give this whole NFL thing a shot? When did you realize that you're gonna give this thing a full go?
Well, I would say, honestly, after my sophomore year, I kind of, my whole life, that's been my dreams, is just to play football, play professional football, because I've been playing football since I was about 8 or 9 years old. So, that has always been a dream. You always see those guys on the TV. I always remember Super Bowls and Sunday night footballs, like when we go to church, whatever, and then after that, have a big dinner and watch football. So, I've always been, I guess you could say, cognizant of the guys that were playing on Sundays, and I knew those were the best of the best. So I always wanted to get there. But as far as actually starting to strive to attain my dreams, like I said, at the end of sophomore year, I got honorable mention, Missouri Valley Conference, and I was real happy about that because, that was like my first college accolade that I've ever received. So, after that, I started working a lot harder. I started doing all the extra stuff, doing all the extra reps and things like that. And, I start my junior year. It was a really nice year as well. A lot of people say that was my breakout year, to where, that was when I kind of stepped onto the scene of being one of the top D linemen in the FCS. And so, that was real big for me. And then, junior year, or going into senior year, that I was full speed ahead. Like, I got accolades after my junior year as well. So it kind of, those really drove me to see if I can, go out on top. Because obviously you want to go out your best, go out first team, everything. So I made a push for that. And while doing that, if I'm going to go out first team, on everything, then, obviously that's going to translate to trying to make the next step to play professional football, because there'd be no reason for me to give it my all and then just stop after senior year, So, I would say, going in that, my junior year is when I really, kind of realized that I could go. And then after my senior year, after my performances my senior year, it just started feeling more and more real, especially when I got the Senior Bowl, like you said, when I got that invite, and I knew I was going to be getting a chance to prove myself against the top talents in the nation. That's kind of when I decided, it's real, and I can do this.
What was your reaction like when you got that invite? How did that all go down? Did a coach give you a call? Did you receive a letter in the mail? How did that all go down? What was your reaction when you found out that you were invited to the Senior Bowl?
Yeah, so when, after my last game of the season, we played Indiana State, my last game, and unfortunately we had lost. But I did decent in that game as far as stat-wise and just performance-wise in general. And so, I did know that there were guys there watching me, before the game. Scouts or what have you, whatever that was, they were out there, and because there's a video of me just doing a little drill going against the goalpost. So I knew that they were out there. I didn't know what they were looking for or anything, but my coach, head coach, Coach Elliott, and position coach, Coach Hayman, and then my D coordinator as well, Coach Stockton. They all just told me, hey, don't even think about it. Just go out there and play. You've been playing your whole year or this whole year. Don't worry about getting an invite or not. If you play how you play, you're gonna get it. And take care of yourself. So I was like, all right. So I went out there and played, and I gave it everything I had. And so afterwards, my coach brought me in the next day on Sunday, and he kind of joked around with me at first. He was like, all right, so we got the NFLPA Bowl. And so I was like, at first I was like, okay, I'm ready. And, but then I was like, man, I wish I had the Senior Bowl. He was like, yeah, so, but yeah, I'm just totally kidding at the Senior Bowl. And then he pulled out the letter that they had sent him. And, it was just a real special moment between all of our coaches. I hugged everybody and thanked them, because without that coaching staff, it wouldn't have been possible for me to, even get that invite, because all of the things they've done, all of the positions, the positive positions they've put me in order to succeed. So, yeah, it was a special moment, and I thanked them, and I told them I wasn't gonna let them down, and that's why I went there to Alabama with a chip on my shoulder, because one, I was the first ever invite in my school's history. So, I had something to prove, and I had all of Western Illinois kind of resting on my shoulders there. So, yeah, I just gave it everything I had.
And there's been some great players that come out of Western Illinois. So to have that honor, to be the first Leatherneck to get the invite to participate in Mobile, Alabama at the Senior Bowl, that's pretty big time. What did it mean to you to kind of put Western Illinois on the map this week? Again, not only did you get the invite to the Senior Bowl, but you were arguably the best player down there. You had a big time performance in not only the week of practice, but the game itself. And now all of a sudden, Khalen Saunders is a trending topic for many reasons, and not only for doing backflips, but for your ability of what you can do on the football field. Is that something special to you that you've been able to put Western Illinois on the map? For the ESPNs of the world and the NFL networks of the world.
Oh yes, no doubt. Like you said, Western Illinois, there's been some phenomenal players coming out of there, and I'm not the best player coming out of Western by any means. I'm not going to sit here and say that at all, because there's been, generational talents that have come out of Western. So, for me to get the opportunity, however, to represent Western Illinois and the Leathernecks in the Senior Bowl for the very first time. Like I said, it was just one of those kinds of things where it gives you that extra motivation, because Western Illinois is a very family type of atmosphere. The facilities aren't as great as, anywhere else, or like we don't have as much as the next school, even the schools in our conference. Like, we don't have any indoor facilities. We don't have any of those things. So, like, all we really have is a brotherhood and a family type of atmosphere. And so it felt like, I had my family support me. And then, as you guys know, that my family is, the biggest support factor in my life as far as coming to games and, just supporting me in general. So, I felt really honored, to be able to go out there and represent the Leathernecks. And then, like I said, it was more so about just proving that it doesn't matter where you come from as far as school. Like, you come from, I was playing down there with a guy from a D2 school, guys from all over FCS level as well. And, they were shining as well. And so, in my opinion, it doesn't have anything to do with the school name or the titles. At the end of the day, it's the same game as football. It's the same rules and regulations. So, I just wanted to go out there and kind of prove that coming from Western, it doesn't matter. You can come from anywhere. I wanted to prove that, at the end of the day, we play the same teams that everyone else plays. Like, you can take 4 guys from North Dakota State or Illinois State or anywhere like that and invite them to the Senior Bowl. But, if you look at the names, like, for example, my teammate Pete Swenson or teammate Quentin Moon, any of those guys, like, if you just take the teams away from them and look at the stat line and look at, the performances and, like I said, just completely strip the teams away, then they're up there with the top talents in the league or in the nation for that matter. So, like, like I said, it was all about, for me, like you said, putting Western on and putting notoriety on that team, on our team name, because at the end of the day, Western was my only offer. So I just wanted to go out there and represent them in a way that was honorable, just because, what they've done for me.
Yeah, and, as you continue to impress, Khalen, obviously that'll make more and more people go back and watch some Western Illinois defense in the very least, which gives 10 other guys on your team an opportunity to kind of get seen by NFL teams, by pro scouts. And I want to ask you about Pete Swenson, your teammate there on that defensive line at Western Illinois. He led the FCS with 24.5 tackles for loss. Talk about that duo there on that defensive line, how you both were able to complement each other's games so well and kind of be one of the more feared defensive line duos in the country.
Oh, yeah, that's my guy. I mean, that's probably my best friend in college. And, he's a special talent. I mean, like, I'm not just saying that because of the stats he has, but first of all, Pete is one of the hardest workers you'll ever meet. Because our D coordinator is his position coach. So sometimes our D coordinator will have other responsibilities as far as special teams and things like that, which leaves Pete to do his own individual drills and own kind of things like that. And he could easily just go over there and take a knee and watch the drill and do just do whatever he wants to do, just sit down and drink water and stuff. But you'll look at Pete and you'll see him over there working on his moves, working on the pop-up bags, working on the sled, all those kinds of things. And you can see it. I mean, clearly it worked. Like, this guy had the most TFLs and sacks almost in the nation. And it wasn't just because he was lucky. It was because he went over there on his individual time and did all that work. And so, but as far as complimenting each other, me and Pete have played together since our redshirt freshman year. That's kind of when we both got our start. We both got our start on like a third down nickel rush package type of package our redshirt freshman year. And so our whole start of our career was based off of our chemistry. It was like kind of us running games together, us rushing the passer together. And we got so comfortable with each other to the point where we can just look at each other and know what kind of move, I'll just look at him and he'll give me that look like, yo, I've got this guy beat. Like, I got him scared, and he'll go hit him with an up and underneath, and then I'll just cover him. or some vice versa. Like I got a guard, that don't know what I'm gonna do, and he'll be like, he'll give me a look like I'm covering you, just go get a sack. So that was redshirt freshman year, and for us to be able to work together for the past 4 years, it did nothing but get better. And then obviously we both got better individually as far as our development and our techniques. So when you add all of those things together as far as the development and the trust and the like I said, the trust and just knowing each other, kind of knowing what we want to do, knowing each other's minds. It created one of the most unstoppable duos, in my opinion, in the nation. And I'm not just saying that because of me, or just because of him. Like it was truly working off of each other. And sometimes, our coach got so comfortable with us that he would just not even call a game or a front. He would just like call the coverage and be like, y'all go get a sack. Like, you know what I mean? Like that.
See ball, get ball.
Trust from your coach. Yeah, that's exactly, that was our defense, is coverage and then go get a sack. Like, that was the front. So when you got that type of trust from the coach and two experienced players, two seniors, that creates one of the, better defenses.
That's the voice of Khalen Saunders, the defensive lineman out of Western Illinois University, coming off of a big week down in Mobile, Alabama at the 2019 Reese's Senior Bowl. And Khalen, being from St. Louis, Missouri, I mean, how did some of the bigger universities miss out on you? Some with these school biographies, a lot of them have the height and weight kind of a lot of it's inaccurate. Not the case for you. You came to the Senior Bowl, you weighed in 320 pounds. You were 6'1". You had the size that was listed on your bio. So, a lot of times a guy that'll be listed at, like, let's say 6'1", 320, or this is a big thing for, like, receivers and corners specifically, and quarterbacks. Their school website would have them listed at, let's say, 6'4", 210. They'll come in and they'll really be, let's say, 6'1.5" and 190 pounds. Pretty big difference. Not the case for you, and I'm sure that's that's something a lot of people are really looking forward to seeing how you would measure in at the Senior Bowl. So obviously you had the size, you had the height, you had the weight. How did some of the bigger universities miss out on you coming out of high school, and how did you ultimately wind up at Western Illinois?
Well, yeah, like you said, I'm a short kid. I accept that though, and that's ultimately what led to the lack of recruitment coming out of high school, because I didn't necessarily pass the eye test to most college teams, and I guess that was discouraging for them. If there had been, if Aaron Donald had been in the league a couple years earlier, maybe I'd have got a couple offers, but obviously he's dominating as of recently, so kind of guys are like, man, we kind of missed out. But yeah, like I said, I was under-recruited, and also I played running back a lot in high school, so since I played both sides, I wasn't like truly focused on defense. Like at the time, I was playing a lot of offense as well. I was almost split the snaps, so the numbers were good, but they weren't like extraordinary how they would expect them to be. And I guess the lack of dominant defensive performance and hand in hand with the lack of height just kind of ultimately discouraged teams. But and like I said, Western was my only Division I offer, and and I'm not saying that like, oh man, Western was my only Division I offer. I'm saying like, they were my only Division I offer, and I'm happy that they were, because one, I didn't have to go through all this extra, like choosing between teams and stuff like that. Like, I had my one offer, and I took it, and I ran with it, and I'm the most thankful guy out there, and I'm very humble to accept that offer, because there's a Division I program, and we're playing the best teams out there, arguably the best conference in the FCS, and for me to play against the best conference in the FCS and the best competition in the FCS for 4 years straight, that did nothing but kind of accelerate my growth, accelerate my development. And so, you know, like I said, it was kind of, I guess you can say, a blessing in disguise to be able to get that offer from Western because, you know, I got to play against really good people and I got to play really early on. Like I was starting since my sophomore year. So playing against, you know, if you can imagine playing against North Dakota State as a sophomore, like you're gonna have to learn some stuff real quick. And that was my advantage, you know, like like a lot of big schools, like you said, you might go there, you know, you don't get to play until your junior or senior year, and ultimately that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to play as much football as I can because no matter how good of a prospect you are, nothing is guaranteed after college football. You know, you can be the top-rated D lineman in the nation, and you end up not going to the NFL. So.
Yeah, and you know, last time we had you on, Khalen, and just a few more questions, then we'll let you go. Really do appreciate your time. I know you've been extremely busy over the past couple months, and it's only going to get more and more busy as we get closer and closer to the 2019 NFL Draft. But yeah, I remember last time we had you on, we deemed you as the Aaron Donald of the FCS, and you know, now it's kind of funny just to see how things come into fruition. Obviously, you're not done yet; a lot more work to go. One more thing on the Senior Bowl, though, what was it like to be around a coaching staff, an NFL coaching staff like the Oakland Raiders? Jon Gruden and company was coaching your team down at the Senior Bowl, and I remember reading somewhere you said, or maybe it was during media day at the Senior Bowl, you said, "No, I think I'm done with the with backflips," and Gruden pulled you aside. He said, "Hey Saunders, let's see another backflip to end practice," and you did it. Obviously, it went viral as it always does. It's awesome. Just what was the week like? Kind of learning from an NFL coaching staff, kind of getting your first feel of what maybe the next level will be like for you.
Yeah, no, Gruden is one of the coolest coaches out there. Like, his personality is vibrant. You know, like he still has that kind of broadcasting voice. You know, like that's just how he sounds. That's how he talks. So, but no, he's a real cool coach, man. He's like one of the coolest coaches I've ever got the opportunity to be under. And then as far as, you know, being under NFL coaching staff, it's kind of a lot of the same, like as far as college, but, you know, the only difference is it's just a lot more technique, you know, a lot more, I guess you can call it just pure technique because there isn't anything wrong with what you learned in college, but I was under Coach Brinson Buckner for the Oakland Raiders. He was my position coach, and he always used to say, like, you know, whatever your coaches in college told you, they lied. He was like, you know, he always would say that, like, that was his little motto, like, your college coaches lied to you. And he's like, not saying he's a bad guy, but he's just not telling you what I'm about to tell you. And so, you know, and like I said, coming from a smaller school, I'm very open to knowledge. You know, you might get a guy from a bigger school that had an established position coach or whatever that, you know, had the same position coach for all their years. And they're more stubborn to change because, you know, that's what they learned for 4 years. But, well, one, for me, I've had a new D coordinator every year I played in college. And two, I've had 3 new D-line coaches. So I'm already flexible in learning. And then on top of that, like, I know that I'm coming from Western. It's not like I have, you know, a coach that's won 1 million championships, anything like that. Like, I have Western Illinois coaching staff. So, you know, I'm always open to learning. And that was the biggest thing for me. That was kind of an advantage as opposed to some of the other guys at the Senior Bowl because I'm like a sponge. You know, I take whatever they taught me and I just implement it into my game. So Coach Buckner, he taught me a lot, man. Like, I'm talking about, you know, obviously I have athleticism and things like that, but he taught me how to use it. And that's ultimately what led to my success in the Senior Bowl than the actual game and during practice as well, because he was, you know, coaching me up during the reps that I was getting. And so, yeah, but the biggest difference from college and that I've seen that's, you know, I got a little taste of is just, you know, well, first of all, the pace of the game. It's obviously sped up. There's a lot better people. You know, there's there is no young guys like, you might be going against a redshirt freshman that's only 17 or 18 years old. And the minimum you'll go against here is like a 21-year-old, so it's a big difference as far as that. But, yeah, he just taught me how to use my technique in my hands. And, that was one of the biggest learning points is just using my technique and using everything that I developed in college, just using it the right way.
Absolutely. And, Khalen, you're a hell of an athlete, obviously. It's documented. And even watching your game film, you see it. I think it was I know it's funny I keep going back to Twitter, but I think it was a tweet that you sent out recently. You're not a defensive tackle. You're not a defensive end. You're a defensive lineman because you have the ability to play all over the line. But that's not it. You can also play some offense as well, whether it's getting a handoff from the quarterback, maybe receiving. You have one of each, one touchdown rushing, one touchdown receiving. Being here in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken, I believe you're back here in the Windy City as well. Watching the Chicago Bears, obviously Matt Nagy, one of the young offensive-minded coaches. We got another young offensive-minded coach in Sean McVay getting ready for Super Bowl 53 Sunday. There's a lot of different looks, and you could really throw anybody out now on the offensive side of the ball, especially we see it a lot of times with maybe defensive linemen or maybe the sixth offensive lineman comes in at tight end from time to time. What would you like to get that opportunity one day to kind of maybe get the ball as a fullback or split out wide at a tight end or receiver and maybe score an NFL touchdown one of these days on the offensive side of the ball?
Oh, no doubt. Offense was kind of my first love, I would say. I grew up playing a lot of offense, and that's why I told you that led to the lack of offers because obviously I wasn't going to play running back in college. I was, 6 foot, 280-pound kid coming out of high school playing running back and D tackle. So
it doesn't get much better than that.
I wasn't going to get too many offers, no doubt. So, but yeah, if I get the chance though, and whatever team takes me and they tell me, yo, look, we want to put you in a goal line package, I'm all for it. I don't. Like I said, the biggest thing with me, I don't have to learn any of the techniques on offense because I know them. You know what I mean? Like I know how to take a handoff. I know it's elbow to the quarterback. When you're taking a handoff, I know how to catch over the shoulder. I know how to high point the ball, all of that. So I don't need to learn none of that. All you need to do is, and then a new concept as well. Like, you know what I mean? I know what to look on, like on a power. If I'm the kickout blocker, I know how to do that because I've done it for like 7 years. So it's like those type of things. Any NFL team listening, hey, if you want me on offense, I'm not opposed to it. And then on top of that, of course, if I do get to score a touchdown, the celebration will be elite. So whatever, if I get that chance, then it'll be a fun time for sure.
Hey, let my inner Bears fan ask you, any chance you're documented at doing many things very well. Any chance you could kick a football?
Oh, I actually was a punter for like all of middle school, and I can punt really good. I'm not gonna lie to you. Field goals, I don't know. That might be a little bit hard, and I ain't trying to have a whole city mad at me for missing the field goals. But I'm gonna leave that to professionals. But yeah, I can call for corner or punt now.
Khalen, you're a man of many trades. One last question for you. It's a question I end all of my prospect interviews with. This has been a fantastic conversation. Thank you so much for your time. Let's say we have all 32 NFL general managers. They're locked in. They're listening to this very interview. Why should they want the defensive lineman, the all-world athlete out of Western Illinois University, Khalen Saunders, a part of their organization?
I think, honestly, because of what we talked about earlier, that tweet that I sent out saying I can play anything, and I truly believe I can play anything, I feel like I'm very position flexible. I have a lot of versatility as far as what I can do on a defensive front. And you know, even that, and I'm not even saying the front. Like I know I can drop if you need me to, anything like that. So just that position flexibility and versatility is the main thing that I feel like I can add to a team. And you know, like that being said, I'm not one of those guys that like, hey, I'm an edge rusher, so that's the only thing I'm gonna play. Like, hey, if you want me to sit here and eat up double teams, guess what? That's what I'm gonna do for however long you want me on your team. Or if you want me to be a 3-tech and rush the passer and have a two-way go, that's what I'm gonna do. So, you know, like I said, I'm very flexible and I'm very open as far as playing anything on the D line. Because at the end of the day, the D line is all the same thing, and it's all about if it's run to protect your gap, and if it's pass to get the quarterback. It's just from different alignments. So, yeah, that's what I want. Any NFL GMs or coaches, anything listening, you know, just hey, I'm open to play anything you need. I'm a lunch pail type of guy. Obviously coming from Western. I'm a hard hat type of guy. I'm just ready to go to work and get on a team and add value any way I can.
Well, you're a class act, Khalen, and again, really do appreciate you sparing some time tonight, man. Was really looking forward to this conversation. You're a man to your word. You said I asked you if, hey, by any chance, maybe after the Senior Bowl we can chat. Here we are, fresh off the Senior Bowl, fresh off probably the biggest week of your life, again, having your daughter while you're down in Mobile. And really just can't thank you enough for, again, sparing some time tonight. Congratulations on really just everything. I'm not even going to, babble on about, the great career you had at Western Illinois. All right, I'll go ahead and babble on. The great career you had at Western Illinois, Khalen, the first Western Illinois Leatherneck to participate in the Reese Senior Bowl. Congratulations on becoming a father and really just improving your draft stock. I mean, if there's any more motivation needed, I mean, I'm not sure what else to tell you. I know there's not, though. So just congratulations on everything that has gone on over the past 5 years and specifically the past, week to 10 days. It's been huge for you. It's been a lot of fun, especially to see a Western Illinois Leatherneck such as yourself to have the success that you've had, and really been a lot of fun watching your football career play out up to this point, and really looking forward to seeing where you land come April in the 2019 NFL Draft, man.
All right, I appreciate that, man. Thank you a lot. And, it was a pleasure being here and talking to you, and I'm always open for you, and we can always chat, man.